Well, if you want to turn this into this, first you'll need to make this. But first, have you ever made iced coffee like this? Saw this on the internet a little while ago, and it is good. I used to be kind of against instant coffee, but I've changed my mind. Just add some milk, a scoop of instant espresso, a little bit of sugar, or in my case, I'm going to use vanilla bean syrup. Crank a whole bunch of ice in there. Put a cap on top, like a lid. And then you're just going to shake the heck out of it. I shake mine for a couple minutes and it gets super frothy. I'll show you at the end. Let's open that up and have a look. Oh yeah, baby. Frothy and delicious. Hit that with a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Boom. There's your iced coffee for the day. Cheers. That is good. Got to give that a shot. What we have here is a pile of ginger. Next to it, a healthy ginger soda. And then, what creates all the magic? A ginger bug. So how do you do it? The process is simple. Just fill up a jar with room temperature water. This one holds about 2 cups. On the first day, you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped ginger, skin and all. I washed it, but leave the skin on because that's where most of the wild yeast lives. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped ginger in the water. Then I put 2 tablespoons of sugar in the water. I'm going to give that a mix up. Now I would cover that. I use cheesecloth over the top of mine, but you could use a coffee filter, or if you don't have a coffee filter, just leave the lid kind of half on so that air can escape but bugs don't get in, and then just set that over on your counter for the next day. Pretend it's been 24 hours. The 24-hour mark, you're going to, for the first 3 or 4 days, we're going to add another 2 tablespoons of chopped ginger, another 2 tablespoons of sugar, stir that up, and we leave that sit on the counter for another 24 hours. Again, another 24 hours, process is exactly the same. We're adding another 2 tablespoons of ginger. Doesn't have to be exact. We're adding another 2 tablespoons of sugar. Again, doesn't have to be exact. We're going to leave it another 24 hours. We're going to continue this process for about a week until you start to see bubbles on top, or you start to hear, I don't know if you can hear this one, but you should be able to hear the yeast talking to you. Sounds just like a fizzing inside. And once that 7 days is over, you can use this liquid to make drinks. And then you leave what's inside here, and you're going to fill it up with water again and sugar, stir it up, and then 24 to 48 hours later, you're going to have your ginger bug water is able to make drinks repetitively. After about the week mark, you can stop adding ginger every single day. I usually add ginger to mine once a week just to replenish a little bit of the wild yeast to give it some more nutrients. But I do feed it my sugar, about a tablespoon of sugar every single day, whether I'm using it or not. And then, I would use the liquid. I would fill this back up with liquid, add my sugar, maybe at that point in time, add a little bit of my ginger if it's been about a week. And then, I would just keep this process going for as long as you like. And then when it's time to make soda, I would strain the liquid from my ginger bug into a bottle. You certainly don't need to use the whole thing. You could split this between multiple bottles. but for case of demonstration, I put all that ginger back in. I'm just going to fill this up with water. I add about a tablespoon of sugar back in. Give it a stir, put the lid back on, and that'll be ready again in about 24 to 48 hours. Now to make this carbonated, the yeast will need a little bit more sugar to convert the sugar into CO2. Instead of using sugar, I've made a rhubarb simple syrup from my last video, so that's what I'm going to carbonate this with. And what's going to happen is the yeast is going to eat the sugar, it's going to produce CO2 inside this bottle, and then this liquid will all be carbonated, and we're going to create a delicious soda. We fill it the rest of the way up with water. I'm going to put the lid on, give that a bit of a mix. And what we have here is a fresh garden rhubarb ginger soda. Now this isn't carbonated yet. You need to set this on the counter for a day or two with the lid sealed. You burp it once or twice, meaning you open it, just to let some of the CO2 out so it doesn't build too much in there. But after a couple days on the counter, the yeast will have converted enough of that sugar into CO2, and that liquid will be nice and carbonated. And I already have one ready, so let's make a drink. That's better than I expected. Side quest. Let's go plant these in the garden. What are these, you ask? These are Cascade hops for the brewing that we're going to get into. First, we dig it a little hole with a little shovel. Then we plant it just a few inches deep with these things facing upwards, it says on the instructions. Some better soil to give it a healthy start. We'll mark its location with this rock for now and give it a healthy watering. That rock kind of reminds me of a like button. Hey, and this one kind of looks like a subscribe button. And the cool thing about Cascade hops is they grow really fast, so I expect them to explode up this wall. I have to build them a bit of a trellis to climb up, but they could grow, 15, 20 feet in the first year if they establish, but I'm not expecting to get a crop off them for at least, a couple of years. But it'll be fun to see them grow, and, we got lots of stuff in the garden. We got some raspberries, got some oregano, and some lemon plant. We've got some sage over here. Lots of garden herbs. Speaking of hops and brewing, we have a couple of white Zinfandels just finishing up here. It's in their final stages. I plan on kegging those. This is a bit of an experiment. It's a tea wine. If it works out, it'll be about 15%. Smells pretty good right now. We got a few Cooper's kits back there. An Irish red ale kit. We do lots of ciders. We're going to put those hops to good use. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all the support. Have a great day, everybody.